What if the pain you've been carrying wasn't here to punish you, but to prepare you? Have you ever stopped to wonder why some wounds feel like they never fully heal? Why do the same patterns of heartbreak, disappointment, or loneliness seem to follow us, no matter how much we change or how far we run? Buddhist wisdom offers a powerful perspective. Nothing in your life is random, not a single tear, not a single moment of suffering. There's a teaching by the Buddha that echoes softly but deeply. It is not your enemies, but your unguarded mind that does the deepest damage. And maybe that's where we begin. We spend so much time asking, why is this happening to me? But what if the more important question is, what is this trying to teach me? Because pain in the Buddhist view is not punishment. It's a pointer, a doorway, a call back to ourselves. Think about it. When has your greatest growth come? Was it during comfort or during crisis? Most of us resist suffering. We numb it, bury it, distract ourselves. But Buddhism gently invites us to do the opposite, to sit with it, breathe with it, and listen. What if heartbreak wasn't breaking you, but breaking open something within you? Maybe the very struggles you've called mistakes were actually messengers, and the pain you've been avoiding is holding the lesson you've been waiting for. Because here's the truth. The deeper the pain, the deeper the opportunity for awakening. And once you realize that, once you stop blaming life and start listening to it, everything begins to shift. Not all at once, not with lightning, but softly, like the sound of your own breath returning home. Stay with me, because in this journey ahead, we're not escaping pain. We're understanding it, and in doing so, we begin to heal. And now, we arrive at the first stop in today's journey. Pain is not punishment. It's a wake-up call. We've all had those moments when life hits us so hard, it feels like a personal attack. The heartbreak, the betrayal, the silence after something falls apart. It's so easy to ask, why me? But what if that's the wrong question? What if the better one is, what is this trying to teach me? Buddhism offers a powerful shift in perspective. Pain doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to reveal you. It pulls back the curtain on all the illusions we've been clinging to. The illusion that we're in control. The belief that life will always go our way. The hope that permanence is possible. There's a story of a monk who was deeply betrayed by his closest friend. Years of trust shattered overnight. And yet, he didn't explode in anger. He didn't run away. He sat in silence for days. When he finally spoke, he said, "This pain didn't destroy me. It revealed the parts of me still clinging to false safety." That's the hidden gift of pain. It strips away the false walls we build around our hearts, not to hurt us, but to wake us up. We often think awakening is beautiful. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's raw. It's tears. It's sitting in the dark and realizing, I was asleep all along. Pain is the fire that burns away what no longer serves you. So instead of running from it, ask it gently, what are you here to show me? And listen, because the answers rarely shout, they whisper. But once we stop resisting the pain, something softer emerges, a stillness, a pause, a space where the next step begins to take shape, quietly but surely. And that brings us to the second insight in today's journey. Even when the path ahead is unclear, you must keep walking. Life won't always give you answers. Sometimes it gives you silence, not because it's cruel, but because it's inviting you to trust. There's an old teaching from the Buddha. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. But how do we do that when everything feels uncertain? Imagine a man walking deep into a dense forest. No map, no light. He can't see more than a few steps ahead. But with every step he takes, more of the path slowly reveals itself. He doesn't arrive because he knew the way. He arrives because he kept moving. That's the essence of trust. Not knowing the destination, but choosing to walk anyway. Modern life teaches us to plan, to control, to predict. But Buddhist wisdom gently reminds us, letting go of control isn't giving up. It's wisdom. Because some of the most profound shifts in life don't begin with clarity. They begin with confusion, with surrender, with stepping forward without knowing what's next. And perhaps that's where the real strength is. Not in having the map, but in having the courage to take the next step, even in the dark. So if life feels unclear right now, don't rush to fix it. Just breathe. Be here. Take the next step. The light will find you there. And sometimes the fog doesn't lift, the answers don't come, and we're left standing in life's silence. But silence too is a teacher, and in that quiet, a different question begins to form. That brings us to the third turning point in this journey. Stop asking, why me? And start asking, what now? When life breaks you, really breaks you, it's natural to cry out, why me? But that question can quietly lock you into the role of the victim. And once you're trapped there, healing becomes harder and growth feels out of reach. Buddhist practice invites a shift in awareness. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is life asking of me right now? There's a story of a woman who lost everything she thought defined her: her career, her partner, her sense of direction. For months she sat in silence, lost in the fog of grief, until one day a new question emerged. What is life trying to build in me now? That single shift didn't change her circumstances overnight, but it changed her relationship with them. And sometimes that's all it takes for the path forward to appear. Transformation doesn't begin when your situation changes. It begins the moment your perspective does. Because growth doesn't just happen in the light, it happens in the mess, in the chaos, in the questions we're brave enough to ask. So when everything feels like too much, ask softly, what strength is being born in me right now? Let that question guide you. Once we stop asking, why me, and start asking, what is life asking of me, we begin to shift. But then another question naturally arises. Where do I find meaning now? What gives life its depth, its beauty, its weight? Let's move forward to the next part of our journey. Meaning isn't something you find. It's something you create, moment by moment. So many of us chase meaning like it's some treasure buried at the end of a perfect life path. We think it'll arrive with the right job, the right relationship, the right breakthrough. But Buddhist wisdom reminds us, meaning isn't hiding at the finish line. It's being woven into how you live right now. There's a story of a monk who spent years sweeping the temple grounds. Someone once asked if he ever got tired of it. He smiled gently and said, I don't sweep for the temple. I sweep to clear my mind. What you do is less important than how you do it. Presence turns the ordinary into sacred. When you're fully here, really here, even washing a dish becomes an act of devotion. Even a quiet breath becomes a doorway to peace. Modern life teaches us that purpose is something external, some grand passion or perfect achievement. But the truth is quieter. Meaning lives in the way you speak kindly when it's hard, in the way you stay soft in a hard world, in the way you show up, even when no one sees. That's what gives life weight. That's what builds a life worth living. So the next time you feel lost, waiting for meaning to show up, stop waiting. Start noticing. What you do today, how you treat others, how you treat yourself, it all matters. You are not here to find meaning. You're here to create it. One breath, one word, one choice at a time. When we begin creating meaning through presence, something inside us settles. But not everything can be shaped. Some things must be surrendered. And that's where the next layer of growth begins. Let's now move into the next chapter of our journey. Acceptance is not defeat. It's the first true step toward freedom. We often think we're tired because we've been doing too much, but deep down, we're tired because we've been holding on for too long. To a version of life that didn't happen. To someone we thought they would be. To expectations that were never met. Buddhism teaches that suffering doesn't come from pain itself. It comes from our resistance to it. As one teaching puts it, pain doesn't come from what happened. It comes from believing it shouldn't have. Imagine someone in the middle of a river, clinging to a rock. They're not drowning, but they're not going anywhere either. They're stuck, exhausted. Not because the current is dangerous, but because they don't trust where it's trying to take them. That's what resistance feels like. But acceptance is the moment you let go. Not because you've given up, but because you've decided to trust life more than fear. It doesn't mean you like what happened. It doesn't mean you approve of it. It just means you stop arguing with reality. And from that quiet surrender, real peace begins to emerge. You stop trying to rewrite the story and start living the next page. So ask yourself gently, what am I still holding on to long after it's time? And what might happen if I finally let go? After learning to accept what is, there comes a deeper shift, one that asks us to loosen our grip on needing to figure life out. Because maybe peace was never in the answers, but in being present with the mystery. Let's step into this next part of our journey. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to wake up. After surrendering the need to control, another need often sneaks in, the need to understand everything. We want clarity, reasons, closure, but the truth is, life was never meant to be solved like a puzzle. It's meant to be lived. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that awakening isn't about having the answers. It's about showing up to the present moment without trying to escape it. Life isn't a riddle to solve. It's a sacred mystery to experience. You don't need to decode every emotion or define every moment to be fully alive. Imagine a flame. It doesn't need to know where the spark came from. It just burns. You too don't need to understand everything in order to shine. You just need to stay lit. There's a Zen story where a student asks his master, "What is enlightenment?" The master replies, "When you're hungry, eat. When you're tired, sleep." That's it. No magic, no secret, just presence. Real, simple, pure. But the mind hates simplicity. It wants to analyze, control, label. The soul, however, only wants one thing: presence. The soul whispers, "Be here now," and when you listen, life softens. So the next time your mind spirals looking for answers, pause. Let go of needing to understand. Breathe, feel, return to now. Because peace doesn't always come from knowing. It often comes from simply being. As we learn to live with presence, we begin to realize something deeper. Life doesn't just happen with us. It happens for us. Even in moments of loss, when everything feels like it's falling apart, something quiet is unfolding underneath. Let's continue with the next part of this journey. Every loss is not an end. It's a clearing for something greater to grow. We often think that when we lose something, we failed. But loss is not failure. Sometimes it's the invitation to become more than you were before. Think of a tree in autumn. It lets go of its leaves not because it's dying, but because it knows how to survive. It sheds what's no longer needed so it can rest, regenerate, and root deeper for the winter ahead. You're not so different. The job that slipped away, the relationship that ended, the dream that no longer fits, they all served a purpose. And when their time is up, holding on doesn't protect you. It only weighs you down. As the saying goes, let go or be dragged. Letting go isn't weakness. It's wisdom. It's choosing growth over attachment, trust over fear. Because beneath every loss is a quiet opportunity to anchor deeper into who you truly are, to grow not in spite of what ended, but because of it. We rarely choose our losses, but we always choose how we rise from them. So next time something falls away, don't just grieve what's gone. Ask yourself, what space is being made inside me right now? Because loss, when faced with openness, becomes the soil where something deeper can bloom. After the storm of loss, something unexpected often follows: stillness. And at first, that stillness can feel like a void, like nothingness. But if you stay with it long enough, you'll realize stillness isn't absence. It's space, the space where truth begins to speak. Let's move into the final part of our journey. Stillness is not a lack. It's a doorway, a quiet, sacred breath that carries awakening. In our noisy world, stillness can feel strange, even uncomfortable. We're so used to doing, fixing, reaching, but not everything is healed through effort. Some things soften only when we pause and listen deeply. It's in the quiet, not the noise, that the soul begins to speak. The deepest insights don't come when we search. They come when we're still enough to receive them. There's a reason Buddhist wisdom emphasizes silence. When the mind is quiet, the truth has a chance to speak. Stillness isn't about stopping life. It's about making space for what's been buried to rise. Not to harm you, but to free you. You don't need to do anything dramatic. You don't need to be perfect or ready. You just need to show up with honesty and presence. That alone is sacred. In that stillness, you'll hear the quiet invitation. It's time to return. Return to your breath, to your heart, to the unbroken part of you that never needed fixing. Sometimes the most powerful transformation doesn't come through force. It comes through quiet, through stillness, through surrender. And maybe that's where your next beginning truly begins. Life doesn't shout, it whispers, through the pauses, the patterns, the things we keep trying to escape. It speaks not in lightning bolts, but in the quiet breath you take when no one is watching, in the hesitation before a decision, in the sadness that rises out of nowhere, in the small kindnesses that go unnoticed. The question is never, why is this happening to me? The real question is, what is this moment trying to awaken in me? Because everything you go through, every struggle, every silence, every surrender, isn't punishment. It's preparation. Life isn't working against you. It's sculpting you, shaping you into someone more grounded, more compassionate, more whole. The truth is, you are not broken. You are becoming. And if you can shift your gaze, even just a little, from reaction to reflection, from blame to curiosity, everything changes. You begin to see that each moment, no matter how small, is a teacher. The world doesn't need more people chasing meaning. It needs more people showing up, to this moment, to themselves, to each other, with softness, with honesty, with presence. So as we end this video, ask yourself, what is one thing life has been trying to teach you lately? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what this message awakened in you. And if something shifted for you today, even a little, make a promise to yourself. Keep walking, and meet me again in the next video. We'll go even deeper together.